Hello, and welcome to another episode of Design Tips and Sips. I'm Anna Gibson with AKG Design Studio, and this is the show that brings you design tips and sips, where we talk about home design, wellness, health, and anything that has to do with your humble abode. So, what are we sipping today? This is a Liz Kelly Rum Punch, and she is a bartender sommelier from New Orleans, and it's a rum penicillin. So, and usually the penicillin is based on whiskey. This one is based on rum, so makes it a little bit more refresh. So make sure to check the notes and for the recipe. And thank you, Liz Kelly and Punch Magazine. So cheers. All right, delicious. Now let's get started. We are on episode part 2 of frequently asked questions for your design projects. So today we're actually going to concentrate a little bit more about bathrooms. We talk a lot about kitchens, so I kind of wanted to mix it up and have some questions that are mostly bathroom. Some of them apply for kitchens as well. So let's start with ventilation, because this applies for both kitchens and bathrooms. A lot of times people really underestimate how much ventilation you need. Also in bathrooms, the old code was that if you have a window, you actually do not need ventilation. So what happened is some people rely on it, but honestly, with the way we're using the HVAC system in our house, we don't actually open the windows that often. I love opening the windows. As soon as spring is here, my windows are open as much as possible. But that usually doesn't not happen that often. So having a good ventilation in the bathroom is really important. A lot of people underestimate the size because you just go to wherever you buy your fan, whether it's online, whether it's your local store, it looks pretty and you buy the fan, but that's not how you actually buy the bathroom fan. You actually need to calculate the cubic feet of the space, the amount of amenities, like how many sinks, toilet, bathroom, showers you have, to make sure that you have an adequate fan in there. Having a 60 CFM is not really going to do anything. Probably 60 to 80 is good one for a powder room, but not anything beyond that. So most of the time, if you have a full bathroom, really well equipped, most likely it's going to be the 110 CFM and above. And if it's a really big bathroom, sometime with a commode room, we might even put 2 fans in there just to make sure that it covers everything that needs to go in there. And another trick for your bathroom ventilation. So as much as I love to have the super quiet ventilation, so those are going to be under 1 sounds. Those are going to be super quiet. You can hear them. They're wonderful. And those are probably great for your bathrooms because you don't want to make noise if you're coming in the middle of the night. But if you have a powder room like mine that it's in the middle of the house, get one that has 1 to 2, even 3 sounds. Because if your guests are going in there and there's noise, have the fan actually be able to mask the noise that is happening in your bathroom. I know it's kind of awkward to talk about it, but honestly, if something happened in the bathroom and everybody's sitting in the living room and you all can hear that, that is embarrassing and annoying for everybody. So for the powder rooms, again, if it's kind of like not tucked in a hallway and it's in the middle of the house, go for the 1 to 2, even 3 sounds as far as noise. Now, talking about ventilation in the bathroom, there's a lot of really cool things that you can get with your ventilations these days. My daughter loves her music, so she actually has the LED Bluetooth speaker built into her bathroom fan. So when she is going to shower, she can rock her music in the bathroom and she's having a super fun time. Again, I always talk about things that happen after COVID. There is some fans right now that also have a way to actually sanitize your air as well. So again, if it's a bathroom like a powder room or a bathroom that's being used for multiple people, that's a good idea to get one that can actually sanitize your air as well. And then talking about the kitchen, the same thing happened in the kitchen. So most of us just go with a fun fan that looks good, but not a one that is going to be adequate for our stoves. Our stoves, especially if you're using gas, have higher BTUs than they used to be. And that 300, 200 fan vent no longer work. Also, if you have a really long run of your venting to go all the way out, if your kitchen is not against a wall or whatever it is that you need to run a longer vent, if it's an island, every foot, every curve, every turn of that vent reduces actually the power of the CFM of the vent. So you will need to make up for it. Now, the other thing that you need to consider is that the code in the US right now is max of 400 CFM on a vent that you can just use as is. Anything above 400 CFM, you will need what is called air makeup. It's a unit that sits on top of your HVAC system and helps recirculate air into your house. What happened is above 400 CFM, the ventilation sucks too much air out of the house. And again, because we don't open windows, we have the HVAC, it actually sucks the air. And especially with gas stoves, it can actually create spontaneous combustions because there's actually not enough oxygen in the air. So if you are going to get a 36-inch stove, or you're getting some of the more professional size, you have to consider that also in your budget, because those will probably run you about additional $2,500. Depends on your area, depends on the installer and the system. But you definitely need to take care of making sure that you have the correct. You will not pass inspection without it. And again, just make sure you understand and build it into your budget, because it is quite a big chunk of the budget. People don't really expect that when you are remodeling your kitchen. So this is about ventilation. All right, let's see what other questions we have about bathrooms. Awkward placement of toilets. The one thing I hate the most is when you walk in and the first thing you see is a toilet. Now, don't get me wrong, there's beautiful toilets right now. There's Kohler and some other companies right now that really make the toilet looks like the beautiful piece of art that does not look like toilets anymore, but still, it's not really the focal point. So when we are remodel your bathroom, we're trying to make sure that if we can move the toilet, we're going to move it to a location that it's just not the first thing that you're going to see when you walk into the bathroom. Plus, it's also helpful with some privacy. So if is more than one person using the bathroom, which happens a lot, if the toilet tucked in a little bit to the side, then it feels a little bit more comfortable when you're walking in and out, or even if the door is open, you'll see your beautiful shower or your tub or your vanity and not the toilet. So yeah, it is awkward, but this is the kind of conversations we are having with our clients. Who is using the bathroom? How are you using it? And that actually leads me to the next question which is the multiple users of the bathroom. So right now we are working with a couple, and it's funny, like, what do you think about the shower? He's like, I don't care. I just go into the shower, I rinse myself, and I'm out. Like, I use the sink, I brush my teeth, I cut my beer, and I'm out. But she wants to sit in the bathtub. She wants to have a steam. She does makeup. So there's a lot of much more things happening for her in the bathroom. And she spent probably close to maybe 2 hours in the bathroom on a regular day, and maybe even longer on the weekend when she has time to use the steam and the tub, versus him that it takes him 5 minutes. So it's really important for us to make sure that we customize again the bathroom and the space for your lifestyle and make sure that it is usable for everybody and whoever's using it. Now, it's not just the fancy bathroom, it's also the kids. Maybe it's kids that are sharing bathrooms together. So make sure that they each have their own little dedicated storage so nobody's fighting. So recently we did a very small, your regular 5x7 bathroom, but we ended up doing 2 medicine cabinets. So you get double mirrors and a nice vanity that has 2 drawers. So each of the kids got 1 medicine cabinet and 1 mirror, 1 drawer. This way, they each have their space. They don't need to get into each other, especially this was a boy and a girl situation. So you know how it is. It's like, yuck, she has all her stuff in there, but he did not want to get into it. So that is very important to make sure that we, again, look at your lifestyle, make sure you're comfortable with the people that you're talking about. Yeah, because we will be talking about your bathroom habits, which can be awkward. We try to make it less awkward, but we need to know to make sure that we do create the most perfect space for you. Because think about it, bathroom, more than anything else, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, you go into your bathroom. The last thing you're going to do at night before you go to bed is going to be your bathroom. So it really needs to be that space that brings you joy and energy in the morning and helps you calm down and kind of get into your night routine and make sure everything is right where you need it to be and not fluster wherever you're going to start your day or finish the day. So make sure that it is really built and organized for you. So we talked about that. Let's talk about lighting. So we love color and we love paint, but there's some colors that just do not work well in bathrooms. So as much as I love a lot of colors and fun in the bathrooms, I usually try to go a little bit more muted colors because especially if you're doing makeup, all that light from the wall is going to shine straight onto your skin. And if you think that you have extra wrinkles or if you look green and stuff like that, it really might be just the wrong color reflecting from your light. Now, talking about the lighting, that is, again, most of people are like, oh, I don't need a lot of light. I have a couple of recessed light or I have these 3 light bulbs are great. Again, if you are one of these people that all you got to do is just, brush your hair, brush your teeth, and you're out, that might be fine. But most of us, we do our makeup and we want to make sure that we have enough light. So one of the most overlooked areas is in the shower or over the tub. Yes, we now have LED lights that are easy to install over that space. So when you get up in the morning, you have beautiful light. It helps you energize. And it's much fun and nicer to shower in a place that is well lit versus dim, especially if you have a tub and you have the shower curtain. And a lot of us like to put very fun shower curtain colors, but really create this cave in the shower because there is no light that's coming from the rest of the room. So again, don't forget to add that at least 1 recessed light over your shower or the tub area just to create that vibrant space. You can even put it in a dimmer. You can even put it in different systems that you don't have to go that fancy. So now I'm totally trailing off, but when we do the fancier bathroom, we do light chromotherapy. Different light depends on your mood to help you energize or to help you go to sleep. You don't have to go that fancy. Some of the regular basic LED light, even the recessed lights now have all that built in. So you really can have that chromotherapy at your home very easily and very cheaply. You can change the light from blue and green to help you energize in the morning to purple, reddish in the evening to help you calm down. And it's super easy upgrade. Just do it. Don't forget it when you are doing your model. And talking about the makeup, we make sure that we have the light surround us all around. So we have light from above, maybe a couple of very small 4-inch recessed lights. I like to have the side lights as well. And the side light can be sconces, or again, talking about LED, it can be LED lit mirrors. So again, having the light come from the side envelope. Think about all the makeup room that you see on TVs with the old Hollywood lights, and don't use Hollywood lights. Those are really harsh or horrible. But think about the all the makeup room that you see around for theaters, for dressing room, for actors. The light always comes from the side because it's much softer, it's easier, and it really lights everything that you need to see in order to have the perfect makeup and not miss anything. So again, don't forget to make sure you have a good lighting plan, just like we make a good lighting plan in the kitchen. Make sure you have a great lighting plan in your bathroom. Also, going back to the bathroom ventilation, some of them actually come with a night light as well. So again, if you're somebody that goes to use the restroom in the middle of the night or use it for any particular reason, you don't want to have the harsh lights come out. You can actually have a very easily built night light into your ventilation with no additional cost or additional utility needed for that. So, and the last thing we're going to be talking about today, point number 5, is choosing the wrong materials. So the biggest thing that we're using, and mostly in bathroom, is tile, right? There's a lot of tile. This is really probably going to be one of your biggest costs in the bathroom, is going to be your tile. And yes, you're going to have the vanity. You're going to spend money on that. You're going to spend money on tubs. You're going to spend money on faucets. But really, most of all, you're going to have tile. So it's really important to select the correct materials and the correct tile for your bathroom. As you know, I love using natural materials. So we love using marble, but also regular ceramic. So it really just depends on what you're trying to do in the bathroom. So for example, we just found a really beautiful limestone for a client, but it's actually going to be a steamed room. From all the natural material, limestone is actually the poorest one. So that was next. So I'm going to have to look for a porcelain tile that is going to look like limestone and that wash natural material look that we're going for, but making sure that that steam room can last for a long time for them. There's not going to be any maintenance issues, and it's not going to be porous for water. Now, can you use other marbles in bathroom? Absolutely. Will it stain or have stained water in it over time? Yes, absolutely. If you walk all around Europe and you see the beautiful white Carrara or other marbles and natural stone out there, you will see that there is water stains in them. And if you're okay with that, knowing that your bathroom and your natural material is going to age with you, that's great. Just make sure that you understand it. But if you want something that is going to be easy to clean, less maintenance, look at porcelain. Make sure that it's a high quality porcelain to make sure that it doesn't absorb any water into it. And right now, if you don't like grout lines, there's a lot of option for the large scale porcelain slabs. So if you go back and watch my episode with Sharon about my trip to Spain, you will see those large scale tiles that really just, you can fill up your bathroom and have no grout line whatsoever. So talk about zero maintenance in your bathroom. Same thing. The other thing that I really don't like to use too much in bathrooms is inset cabinets. So go back to my episode about cabinetry. I'm talking a little bit more about that, but inset cabinet means that the door sits inside the frame. And if you love to steam your bathroom and don't use ventilation enough, that will create an issue. Your door is going to get stuck. So again, just make sure you're using the correct materials in the correct spaces in your bathroom. Oh gosh, okay, that was a lot, I know. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have questions before you start your remodel, whether it's design or space planning, materials, make sure to catch up with me. You can drop your questions in the comments or find me on Instagram at the AKG Design Studio. And please, send us more questions. We love answering your questions. And as you can see, I can talk about it all day long. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Anna Gibson with AKG Design Studio, and that's been another episode of Design Tips and Sips. And if you love this content, please share it with your friends, your family, your coworkers, anyone that is getting ready to remodel. If you want to be our guest, all our information is on the About section. So please feel free to email me and let me know what you want to talk to us about. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to make sure you get the new episode when it's ready to release. We do release new episode every Wednesday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in another time zone, it is what it is. Find us. That's why you need the subscribe and the bell, because we do have people from all over the world watching it. So make sure you are on the list. So until next time, cheers.